Is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania really comparable to Portland, Oregon? If you're watching this video, you might be considering a move from Portland, Oregon over to Pittsburgh, and you're wondering if these two cities are actually comparable. I've had several clients move from Portland over to Pittsburgh, and they have told me the similarities and differences, the real similarities and differences of these two cities. So that's what I'm going to break down for you guys. If you're considering a move from Portland over to Pittsburgh, then this video is going to be extremely helpful. And we're getting into the truth about Pittsburgh and Portland right now. Hey guys, it's Riley Madden with eXp Realty right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If this is your first time at this channel and you want to learn absolutely everything on what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, and play right here in Pittsburgh, make sure you start by tapping that subscribe button and click that little bell so you're notified every time we come out with a new video. We honestly get so many phone calls, text messages, emails every single day from people all over the world relocating here to Pittsburgh, and we absolutely love it. If you're considering a move to Pittsburgh or our surrounding suburbs, make sure to reach out, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, DM us on social media. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back when making a move to Pittsburgh. So a lot of people have actually been comparing Portland, Oregon with Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is pretty funny because they are on two completely opposite coasts. Now, I've heard a lot of people call Pittsburgh the Portland of the East, and a lot of people just comparing these two cities. We've actually had several people move from Portland over to Pittsburgh and give us all of their insight on the true similarities and differences. So we're gonna get into that right now. So the main similarities that I've heard between these two cities are obviously number one is going to be the size. They're both pretty mid-sized cities. The downtowns are pretty comparable in size and overall density, and they both are pretty walkable downtown areas. The overall vibe I've heard from a lot of people from Portland could really compare to Pittsburgh. They're used to their breweries, the good and unique food options, the many different neighborhoods, and most importantly, that laid back atmosphere. So that could very well compare to Pittsburgh. We have a ton of different breweries, and that's part of our big scene here. Several of those popping up all throughout the city, and just a large variety. Also, our food in Pittsburgh is pretty comparable, although some people say that Portland, Oregon does have more of that diverse food scene and just more options than Pittsburgh does. But overall, you could kind of see the brewery and the food are two of the main aspects of both cities. Pittsburgh is very much a sports town, so we definitely have that laid back and chill atmosphere, which is also what Portland, Oregon tends to have as well. Both of these areas do have pretty dense and walkable downtown areas, but aside from that, they both have a large number of distinct areas. So in Portland, Oregon, you have about 95 different neighborhoods, and it's kind of the same over here in Pittsburgh. We have 90 distinct neighborhoods in our city limits. They both actually have the same overall look to them as well. So they both have that three-river split, many bridges, and they're both pretty heavily forested with a hilly surrounding of each city. So just from these main factors alone, you could tell the cities are pretty similar, and some would say sister cities. But that doesn't necessarily make the living aspect the same whatsoever. There are some major differences between Portland, Oregon and Pittsburgh that we're going to talk about, and this is what my clients have told me. It is a lot different, although from the outside look, you could say they're sister cities. Once you get into the real nitty-gritty and the details that make living in an area important, you could tell that these cities do differ from one another. Now on the weather side, both of these cities do rain. I've heard it rains a little bit more in Portland than in Pittsburgh, and you have a bit more cloudy days in Portland than in Pittsburgh. So it's good for us Pittsburghers, but in Pittsburgh we get the snow, the harsh winters, everything pretty much dies in the winter. Where in Portland, you're still having that lush green space throughout the whole entire year, and they barely see any snowfall. So if you're someone that hates the winter, hates the snow, then you might want to choose Portland, Oregon. But if you like the distinct 4 different seasons and you may want some less rain than in Portland, then Pittsburgh may be the better choice. Another big difference in the weather is Portland, Oregon is pretty hot but dry in their summer. So you're going to see a lot of wildfires and tons of smoky fires, which can be pretty dramatic and pretty scary, especially if you're not used to that. You really don't get those natural disasters or any wildfires, so it's a lot more safe of a climate, I would say, for your everyday life in Pittsburgh. Portland's winters are just the damp and the coldness, but it does not get as cold as it does in Pittsburgh. People think Portland, Oregon's weather is great. They do have the nice long summers that aren't humid because it's pretty much dry in the summer. So a lot of opportunity to go outside, enjoy the sunshine. So Portland does give you that opportunity to really get the most out of your summers and enjoy those long summer days with not having to worry about rain, but just only sunshine. Where in Pittsburgh, our summers can be rainy and we can get that humidity that you're not going to see there since it's pretty dry. So Portland does win in the sense that the winters aren't bad compared to Pittsburgh and that they do get longer and better summer days. But in Pittsburgh, we do have those 4 distinct seasons. We don't get wildfires. Like I said, that is a big deal and a big difference between the two. And we do get pretty harsh winters, but overall, our 4 distinct seasons are always great. It comes down to what you're really looking for in terms of weather, and if you are okay with dealing with the wildfires or the harsh winters. A huge difference that I've heard a lot between the 2 cities is obviously going to be the cost of living. So living in Portland is almost over double the cost of what it costs to live in Pittsburgh. Their median home price is around the 600,000s, while Pittsburgh you're looking at around 250,000. There are a lot of people coming from Portland to Pittsburgh complained about how in Portland they really couldn't get anything, even in the areas that aren't that desirable, while in Pittsburgh you could literally be in a top-rated school district, highly desirable area right next to the city or whatever lifestyle you're looking for a lot less of a cost than in Portland. So you might be able to get into a top area in Pittsburgh with your money that you couldn't even get into a lower desired area in Portland. That's the main reason why a lot of people actually do make the move from Portland to Pittsburgh, is they do really overall care about that lifestyle. They want to be in an area that's nice and fits them, but still be in that city setting, and that's what you can't really get in Portland. It's become extremely expensive, from rents to home prices to everything else, where a lot of people are looking for more options so that they could have more money in their pockets at the end of the day, or also be in an area, a nicer home and just a nicer community with their money rather than settling somewhere they're not happy. So if you are looking at the cost of living, then you're definitely going to want to choose Pittsburgh, just because it's a lot more affordable than Portland. And this is a main reason why a lot of my people make the move. And they're also very surprised on what they can get for their money in Pittsburgh. And another huge factor is the traffic, and it is very different. And this is why you could really debunk the sister cities. Traffic is a lot worse in Portland, Oregon, and you might be sitting in traffic for about an hour during rush hour, or even more than that. While in Pittsburgh, we really don't have bad traffic. It's more of random slowdowns before the tunnel and just certain bottlenecks in certain areas that will get slowed down just due to the roads, the stop signs, and how everything is put. but our traffic, you're typically not sitting in traffic for that long. I wouldn't even say over half an hour, which is a big difference. Lots of gas, lots of commute time, and more time to be at home with your family, with your friends, or with yourself rather than just sitting in the car all day. That's a big plus. I know my clients that just moved from Portland here actually said that was their favorite thing about Pittsburgh, is how the traffic's not bad, but they are a little thrown off by everyone stopping before the tunnels. A lot better than sitting for hours in Portland trying to get to work, and just factoring that into your everyday commute can be pretty stressful. What's nice about both of the cities is they both do offer the back roads in order to skip the main arteries of the city. So in Pittsburgh, there are tons of back roads that may add a few minutes to your route, but actually save you time if you consider the traffic. And that's the same exact thing they've said in Portland, Oregon, is there are many back roads that you could take. So in that sense, driving is pretty similar. They both do have a pretty hilly overall surrounding. So that's something to consider as well. You're not going to have the completely flat look, but I would say Pittsburgh might be a little more of the steep hills and the quick merges than Portland. Our population in Pittsburgh is a lot less than it is in Portland, Oregon, so that plays a big factor in not only traffic, but you're looking at things like waiting in line, going to restaurants, just being in crowds, and then you're looking at that foot traffic during the day when you're walking around the city. Portland pretty much has that foot traffic all day long and just more of a crowded environment, while in Pittsburgh, our foot traffic is mainly limited to when people are getting off work, when there's a sports game, or when there is some type of event in the city. Other than that, it's not as crowded and you don't see as many people walking and running around downtown. If you are moving from the West Coast to the East Coast, there's obviously going to be some culture shock, but the least culture shock you're going to get is moving from Portland to Pittsburgh because of all of these similarities. Even the nature and the overall look, these cities both do a fantastic job in incorporating some nature in the urban areas and just having lots of parks and opportunity to go outside, to utilize the rivers, the walking trails, the parks, all of the different trees. Overall, they are pretty similar when you look at it from more of a faraway standpoint. The food and the beer scene, the fact that they are mid-sized cities. And I can tell you, all of my clients who have moved from Portland to Pittsburgh absolutely love it here. They call it a hidden gem, and they want me to stop making these videos so no one else could find out about Pittsburgh. But all of the different neighborhoods that are so unique, and the fact that the city's not super crowded, but it has that charm, the architecture, the school districts, the lively scene, the different vibrant shopping centers, the many events, the sports scene, and the booming food and beer and winery scene. It's really all in Pittsburgh comparable to what's in Portland, Oregon, but Portland definitely has a larger variety, a larger population, and just more of a big city feel. Pittsburgh, obviously it's a big city, but you have small city advantages. So it all pretty much comes down to, what are you looking for? If you're considering making the move from Portland to Pittsburgh, it's definitely not a bad idea to visit and feel the city for yourself. And also give us a call and we could help decide which neighborhoods are really gonna fit that Portland vibe for you, because I do have a few in mind. So if you are making the move from Portland over to Pittsburgh, we're happy to explain everything about the city, get you some neighborhoods that are going to match your lifestyle that you're currently living in or looking for, and we're happy to show you around the areas and really dive deeper into the similarities and differences between these two cities. They are on opposite coasts, but they are pretty much sister cities. So if you are looking to move to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, whether it's from Portland, Oregon, whether it's from Portland, Maine, anywhere in the world, make sure to reach out, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, DM us on social media, however you want to get a hold of us. We've always got your back when making a move to Pittsburgh. And if you want to learn everything else about Pittsburgh, our different neighborhoods, what's it like living here, and what's our real estate market like, make sure to watch our next videos here. And we will catch you in the next one.